Okay, week 11, here we go, everybody. This is like so relevant to what we're talking about all the time. And this is about 10 ways to stay motivated. And it is just absolutely imperative. So this is our week 11. I have no idea where the time is going. Number one, you've all been ambassadors for at least 11 weeks in here now. And we're going to continue it going because, as I said, we have a new intake. We actually have a new person in the group now who is an ambassador who I'm going to introduce next week. And new intake of people in 2 weeks' time. So we're going to be repeating. We're going to have 1 or 2 weeks off after the 12 weeks and restart again. Whole bunch of new topics and a whole bunch of new energy coming in as well, which will be amazing. So today we are, I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to, whoops, pin myself. Bear with me 1 second. There we go, move that over. Great. So we're going to do our catch up, which we've done off recording. Great catching up with everybody. So thank you, thank you. We're going to talk about ways to be and stay motivated. And this is going to be quite interesting today. We're just going to whip through some 10 tips for everybody. And a reminder, you, I think, may have all had an invitation for the webinar on the 22nd. That is up and live and running. Now, I will be doing a webinar solely on how to sell from webinars. So if you can join me on the 22nd, that would be fantastic because it'll give you an idea how you can pitch yourself at the end of the webinar as well. So please join me for that. And as I said, I'm giving a 20% cash finder's fee. That's £110 if you recommend someone who comes on to the course, which is wonderful. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Positive and negative motivation. Motivation is what drives us to make things happen, right? But I think staying motivated isn't always easy. So I want to look at some ways to keep us motivated. And it's really, really quite interesting. In my Revamp Your Wellness group, I often do a poll in there, what would you like me to talk about this week? Do you want me to talk about recipes? Do you want me to talk about exercise? Do you want me to talk about motivation? And almost 80% of the time, it's motivation. I think sometimes people know what to do and know what they should be doing on a daily basis. But for some reason, those motivation factors are missing. And so, we have the positive and the negative motivators, and these are both can drive your goal forward. So again, I always start with goals. I don't think I started this one with goals, but I normally start, we all have to have that vision. And if that vision is really big, it should make you feel like a little bit nervous because that is a motivator in itself, right? So it keeps us working through all of those tasks. And we have our positive motivators, and those are things like, for example, you have a positive outcome. Like, if I finish the Wellness Ambassador course, great, I'm going to get my certification and I'm going to be able to make more money. Yay! That's a real positive motivator. But then there's a negative motivator. So for example, if I don't finish my Wellness Ambassador course, I'm not going to get my certificate. I've wasted all that money. I'm going to feel like a failure, so I better get it done. Do you see what I mean? They're very different motivators. And I think it kind of depends on how that motivates you, because both can be really effective, but both are different circumstances as well. So you kind of need to choose which side motivates you, positive or negative. Sometimes for me, I think for me, thinking about this just off the cuff, it's 50-50. Because sometimes pain is a driver. Sometimes I think, you know what? I am in trouble if I don't get this done. I'm going to let people down, blah, 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 blah. That's a negative motivator for me because I hate letting people down. Okay, so you really want to take a look at that. And if there's one thing that I'm good at, it's avoiding those negative things from happening. So look, whatever motivates you, whether you have positive motivators or negative motivators, I think that we need to, agree that both can be really effective. Okay, so as you know, I love my little anagrams, and I've taken the word motivated. Yay, motivated. So this is the M of motivated, and you're going to see, obviously there's an O, a T, and then I put something with it. Because I always find this is a really easy way for you to work through this and remember these. So we have M is for manageable tasks. O is for organized, T, so on, so on. So let's take a look at manageable tasks, because one important key to your success is your ability to break down that goal, okay, into shorter term goals and smaller single tasks that keep it manageable. Now, we spoke about this in the time management webinar as well. So for those of you coming on board, refer back to the time management webinar, because there's oodles of tips that's in there to help keep these tasks manageable, to avoid distractions, and to really concentrate on deep work and get these things done. So we have our big desired outcome as always, but then, we have, it could be 100 different steps to the desired outcome. But you need to finish each one of those and celebrate at the same time, because as you celebrate, again, that's a positive motivator and can keep moving us forward so we don't get demotivated, 3 tasks before your project is finished. All right, that isn't what we want to do. So manageable tasks within there is our very first one, M for motivated. Then we have O, motivated, organized. Organization is where it's at. So get organized, make sure your workplace is absolutely uncluttered so your mind can be organized as well. And again, we spoke about this in the one about distractions, putting phones away, getting your marker pens out, just reach for mine, all these kinds of things about getting organized, chunking your time. But as well, you want to create a calm environment, because this calm environment that is well organized gives you a better chance of being more efficient and more productive. So when you go back to your manageable tasks, and if you are organized in the manageable tasks, it's just going to make life so much easier, right? So much easier. Then we have our T, tackling procrastination. This is a really big one because you want to tackle procrastination head on. Don't make excuses. Don't waste time rationaling why you haven't already started. And again, we touched on this a little bit with doing some one-to-one promo videos, okay, where I can help everybody. Now, you are procrastinating if you're not at least getting them in the diary. Okay, you don't have to book a one-to-one with me to create the video just yet, but you do need to put the time in the diary. It is one of your things to do, all right? And so we want to uncover the real reason why there is a delay in getting that work done immediately. And the best way is to just begin, yeah? And tackle that procrastination. So we always have things I would do, things I like to do, and I love this circle. Things I do when I'm procrastinating. Yeah, what do you guys do? What do you do when you're procrastinating? Because this is really super important. Because you know what I do? I clean. Yeah. I'll be like, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to clear the table, or I'm just going to empty the dishwasher, or I'm just going to put a load of laundry on because, in my brain, that can be doing while that's doing. How about you guys? What do you do when you're procrastinating?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I will always find something to do in my house because there's always something to do. and
Yeah.
it is usually cleaning or tidying or gardening or something. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
same.
we have another visitor. Fantastic. Fantastic. I know these procrastination things are, not there. Lavinia, what do you do when you're procrastinating?
The same as you, to be honest. I find anything to do, whether it's cleaning, emptying the dishwasher, loading the dishwasher,
Yep.
hoovering, making the beds, doing the shopping.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And these circles are so true. So, what I want to do from this is actually, um, when we do those things, and I'm going to be really active myself, this is like our task, okay? When I think, oh, do you know what, I'm just going to empty the dishwasher, I actually know I'm procrastinating from doing something. I'm consciously doing it, consciously doing it. So when you have the urge to garden, to put a load of laundry on, whatever, I want you to just have like a couple of second rule and think, okay, what's on my to-do list? What am I procrastinating doing by doing that? Because you know what? The laundry can wait, the dishwasher can wait. But actually, that one thing that you're procrastinating about can be the one thing that moves your business closer to getting a client and you reaching your goal. So
Yeah.
it's super, super important we do this. Okay? Super important. So that's going to be one of your tasks.
Okay.
Motivated. Intermediary targets. We're really kind of similar to manageable tasks, but can be slightly different here, because I kind of call those chunking. These are more. It could be like 7 tasks to reach the first goal. Like, for example, my Revamp Your Wellness book series. Okay, I have 9 books. I chunked each of the books into 4 weeks. And then there's week 1, I had to complete week 2, week 3, week 4. Boom, that's done. Next step. Do you see how that's different from the sort of different tasks that I had within there? So I was quite motivated. My motivator was, okay, I got to get week 1 done. Then I got to get week 2. And then I got to get week 3. And then that was like a really positive motivator. It's like, oh my God, I'm almost finished like this book. Get it done. And then I can move on to the next one. So I really think that these intermediary targets, this system that chips away at that progress, but breaks it down into the steps as well. And then you have your like little mini to-do lists within those. And I just think that this keeps us more organized and it's just not as daunting because actually in your diary, it's easy to, so I'm going to use the book again for an example. It's easier for me to say, okay, Barbara, you need to finish, book 4, week 1. Yeah. And then this is what you've got to do for that. Because I have all my steps. I always have my intro. I have my, tick list, gratitude journal, blah, 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 meal plan diary. They're all in there. So I know I need to do those. But if I were to put in the diary, you have to actually have a big chunk in your diary and you're going to finish all of book 4, like week 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd be like, oh my God, I don't have time to do that. And then to me, that's like super unmotivating and I just wouldn't do it. So you need to really spend some extra time thinking about what is doable, what can I chunk out of something, get it done, that gets me to the next step. Okay?
Yeah.
And keeps you motivated at the same time. So we are on V of motivated, and that is our vision, mission, and values. So we've got kind of 2 V's in here as well. But it really is around creating that clear vision. Why are you doing it? Because if it doesn't motivate you why you're doing it, you're just not going to do it. It's pretty simple, right? If you want to succeed, you have to create a clear and compelling vision, something you can relate to and that you can resonate with. And if it doesn't speak to your heart, it won't motivate you to stay on target. It just won't. So you have to create the highest, grandest vision possible. because you can only achieve what you can see. And we've talked about vision boards before, and all those kinds of things. And it's about revisiting those because, I've got the vision board on the back of my door. And if that doesn't motivate me to do something, nothing will. Then change the vision. Yeah, change the vision. Something that will motivate you, not something that someone tells you have to do, something that, like I said, speaks from the heart. And we've done so many webinars now. I speak from the heart and I do things from the heart because I learn from it. I enjoy doing it. And for me, they're always win-win-win situations. And that is a motivator in itself. And those values of integrity come along there as well. Do I have my vision? And I do. Do you want me to read my vision, mission, and core values?
Yeah.
Yeah, would that be helpful? Okay, let me just grab them because they just live right there. Okay, pull that down. Oops, and I have lost the pin that came out. So if there's a big yelp afterwards, it's because I stood on it. Right, so I have them here. Okay, I have them printed out above my desk all the time because, again, these are motivators. So they're my vision, mission, core values. Talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person I meet. My vision is to empower my clients to feel fantastic through an easy to implement system of nutrition and wellness strategies. My mission, to share my passion and lead by example with nutrition and wellness, to exceed customer expectations by delivering premium and industry-leading strategy and communication. And my core values are to keep my word, demonstrate integrity, honesty, and respect for others, perform at my best, set goals, be performance-driven, stand accountable, challenge good enough, and improve constantly. Number 3, serve with passion. Listen, understand, solve problems, over-deliver, and astound every customer. 4, own my work. Take ownership. Drive action. Show initiative. Be proud, and speak up. And number 5, play as a team. Contribute, empower, mentor, share, and celebrate together. Okay? I can take a copy of this actually and put it in the group if it helps, because everyone should have their own. This is super motivating. People always say, Barbara, why are you so motivated? Because if you'd come to my office, I've got shit like this all over my walls. Okay? I'm like brainwashing myself.
Yeah.
Okay? But that is, maybe that's part of my strategy. It makes me feel good. I'm in the zone when I'm in my office. And it's funny because anyone who comes here, I had a friend come the other day, Anka Harris, and she said, wow, your office rocks. It's got like great energy. And we were going to have a coffee in the lounge. And she's like, no, let's just stay in your office. It's great. And so I was like, wow, that's really good. So create that workspace that is motivating.
Okay.
Yep,
good.
A, approach. Approach tasks in new ways is what I mean for this, okay? It could be your approach as well, but what I mean by this style of approach is just approach it in another way. So, for example, how many people sit and try to write a vision, mission, and core value statements? It's just like, it's impossible sometimes. So you can creatively swipe mine. I'm cool with that. I think it'll work for most people with a few tweaks. Or take a different approach to it. Maybe you want to have something else. Maybe you want to research a little bit more, ask some clients, create something new, revise, revisit, and deliver something different. I always think sometimes getting started with something is the problem, right? And so again, can you see how the motivated is like building on top of one another? If we just get started, it's just going to roll on its own, and you can always change it. And if the approach that you're taking isn't rolling properly, then, get a new perspective or more energy into it, or put some time. What's that saying? Where your energy goes, focus goes, or where the focus goes, energy goes, something like that. And that energy can actually change something into something a little bit more motivating, and kind of go from there. And then that takes me really nicely onto my next one, which is all about thinking positive, because positive thoughts lead to positive actions. Yeah. And these self-affirming like affirmations, I think, will help you achieve your best. And it is a lot about taking control of what we think all the time, and how we feel and how I act. And yeah, maybe my office is this sort of positive haven of positive thinking, not in a Pollyanna way, but I actually find it quite motivating. When I look up, I've actually, interestingly, got a little Wordle about positive. I've got a Wordle about wellness. I've got loads of things, and it is really good. I'll take a snapshot so you guys can see what's up there. I have an I can and I will. I have a be determined, be disciplined, be thorough kind of thing. There's so many things around me. So you know what? It's not like I don't get low, or it's not like I don't get demotivated. I just have this massive toolbox or massive wall that I throw things in, that when I start to feel like that, then I read it.
Yeah.
Or I look up and it's there. It's like, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing it, and so it just, all these things just pull you out. Positivity, it's a choice. It really is a choice. You can look at something positive or you can look at it negative. It is your choice. But I truly believe that if you look at it in a positive way, it's going to lead to accomplishment. And that's what we're talking about here. Getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Okay, E, expectedness. Ooh, now this is a really interesting word, expectedness. I'm not going to get deep and woo-woo on you here, but this is something that creeps up an awful lot. Are you ever like thinking sometimes everything's going really well? It's like, oh, do you know what? Something bad's bound to happen. Yeah, it's like, oh, I got away with something, or something's, and it is this word, expectedness. And it can mean a few things, but sometimes it's that little niggle in your head, like you've applied for a job or you put a pitch in for a bit of work, and you're like, oh, well, I'm up against so many people. I'm not going to, I'm maybe not expecting much. Or, I'm doing it with the webinar now, this new webinar that I'm doing on the 22nd of July. It's like, oh, okay, well, I've only got 27 people booked. I wanted 100. That's fine. And then I'm like, no, Barbara, you're expecting 100, bloody well work for 100. Keep going. You still have 2 weeks to fill it, that kind of stuff. So it is about what you expect. And sometimes when we expect something bad or not to reach our goal, it throws us off course, and it can predetermine how you deal with a flagging motivation. Okay, so it's not a defeatist thinking. It isn't. I don't believe it is anyway. It's actually the contrary, I think, to that. It's almost inevitable that at some point you're either going to feel temporary setbacks or just like exhaustion, okay? And you need a little bit of a boost. And sometimes when those negative thoughts come in, or this expectedness of something negative to potentially happen, then I think it is a time to either just have a little bit of a break, even if it's 10 minutes, okay? And to just think, all right, I need to regroup and do something different here. Yeah. And that's when you, again, need your little toolbox of things to help with that as well. Okay, so D is for deadlines. Seize the power of deadlines, I always say. And they're, what's a vision? A dream with a deadline. And setting a time limit for an activity, I think, will enable you to assemble your resources and your material towards accomplishing things you might not have otherwise got done. and use deadlines to actually do that. And I think that that is really great. And again, I'm going to use the book as an example. I wrote, let me get it here, a full timeline for the book from week 2, which was the 17th of May, all the way to week 18, which is the 6th of September, which is launch week. And each week I have things that I have to do and a deadline for each single week. And then notes if I think of extra stuff, but it is there and it is done. And yes, I'm behind. Okay. And I spoke to the publisher today, and they're like, yeah, you are behind, Barbara, but you built in 4 weeks of being behind. And so I was like, yeah, I did, didn't I? And they said, but get yourself back on track. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll use this weekend and I'll get myself back on track. So that's my motivator, just a little bit of a kick up the bum from them. But, you know, use the deadlines. Make sure that everything is there and running, you know, how you want it to run, really. Okay, so let's do a great little recap here as well, because I always think doing a little end recap is something that can really help. So our week 11 motivation recap. Number 1 is we talked about positive and negative motivators. Positive and negative motivators can be either a positive outcome that motivates you, or it can be that pain of not doing something, which is a motivator as well. Number 2, we had manageable tasks. So these were, you know, again, a little bit different from number 5, which is intermediate targets. That's the manageable tasks are all maybe what's broken down even more in those targets that you're stepping to. So what are the tasks in each step that need to be done? Okay, so you're not tackling a full step. You've got little tasks to jump the step. Number 3 is staying organized. Well, we know we totally need to be organized all the time. Get your highlighter pens out, and again, watch the tips on distractions and time management in a previous webinar. We want to tackle procrastination. This is a huge thing. We had the 3 circles, you know, what I should be doing, what I have time to do, and then a circle all on its own, what I'm actually doing when I'm procrastinating, which was things like household chores, stuff that can wait, yeah? And so again, you might want to take a look at when those things come up, like you're thirsty, you want a coffee, you're hungry. That's why people snack all the time. They're procrastinating with something. So again, take a look at that. We already talked about number 5, intermediary targets. Those are the stepping stones to your main goal. We have our vision, which is number 6. And again, I took a look at the vision, mission, and core values there as well, which I will take a picture of and put in the group, because everyone should have those. That will keep them motivated as well. The next one is we have approach. So number 7 is approach. And that is, if the approach that you're taking isn't working, maybe try a different approach. Sounds obvious, right? But do we always do it? No. Number 8 is think positive. I believe positive thinking is a choice. And so to achieve, ultimately, I believe we need to be positive around a situation for that achievement to be as smooth as we want it to be. Number 9 was expectedness. Whether you expect something to be great or you expect it to be bad, whatever you expect is going to happen. So we might as well expect it to be good, right? And so taking a look at your expectedness around a task. It's like, oh, it's going to be so hard. You know, it's like sometimes when I ask my kids to like empty the dishwasher, it's like, oh, not that again. It's so hard. It's like, yeah. Or it'd be like, yeah, do you know what? I can do that in 3 minutes. I remember once it was that actual task that I had asked a child to do, and, got that kind of, oh, it's so difficult. I don't have time. I'm too tired kind of thing. It's like, do you know what? It's going to take 3 minutes. And I timed it. And I think it was like 2.5 minutes to empty the dishwasher. It was just, and then I said, so yeah, it's only 2.5 minutes, already done. It's amazing. It really is amazing about, expectedness. If you expect it to be tough, it's going to be tough. And finally, we have D for deadlines. And we can use our deadlines as, a motivator. Most definitely. Get things done, put things in a timeline, and keep your deadlines running on time. And that is our presentation this evening. How's that? I'm going to stop screen sharing. Whoops, there we go. And so hopefully you got some good tips on that as well. You can watch the replay, and I will put all those other things in there. And we have a little bit of a task that we can actually do as well if you have time. But I think my main takeaway from today is, when I feel like emptying the dishwasher, I'm going to leave it till the end of the day. And I'm actually going to use that as a signal to myself. It's like, ooh, you're procrastinating. Okay, so and then use that. So I want you to be mindful. You see, this is mindfulness, and we talk about well-being all the time. But I mean, how great is that for a mindfulness tip? Yeah, and you can just be mindful with everything. Any questions?
No, thank you.
All good? All good. Great. I will get this up and running this evening. I want everyone to see if they can do their own vision, mission, values as well. So I'll screenshot that and throw that in the group now. I did a little recap video as well for those who missed it this evening. I think it's about 3.5 minutes, just the 10 points on my video. I'm going to pop that in there as well. So everyone can just have a little bit of a reminder of what these things are, without actually having to watch the whole thing again. And Dawn, I've got time. My next webinar is at 8 o'clock. So I will send you the social media presentation. But if not, it's in my diary to do tomorrow. And I promise I won't forget.
No problem.
Because I have to empty the dishwasher. No, I'm just joking.
Thank you, Barbara.
Have a fantastic rest of the week, everybody. And I'll speak to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.